This video will cover how to fill out a challenging beliefs worksheet for CPT. You and your therapist will use a challenging beliefs worksheet throughout the rest of your therapy as you consider your stuck points and the themes that may have resulted from your traumatic events. The more specific you can get on a worksheet about an event, the easier it will be to answer the questions, think about your patterns of thinking, and come up with a more balanced and fact-based thought. Let's take a look at a challenging beliefs worksheet. It may look complicated, but you have already learned and completed almost everything on this page. We'll break it up into sections so that you can understand how it maps onto the process you've already learned. The ABC process. We have moved the ABC worksheet off to the left two columns. Write in the traumatic event under column A. Then, under B, write in your stuck points about the event. Write just one on each worksheet that you do, so it will be easier to stay focused on a single stuck point. Rate how much you believe that thought. In the beginning of therapy, you may have believed it 100% and assumed your thought was actually a fact. However, now that you can tell the difference between a fact and an opinion, you might not believe it completely anymore. The same applies for the emotions you feel when you think of that stuck point. Write down the emotions or emotion you feel and go back and look at that emotion wheel if you need to, and rate how strongly you feel those emotions. You might even find yourself using a different word than you did before, such as anger instead of rage. The next topic is challenging questions process. Next in the D column are the abbreviations of all of the challenging questions that you asked yourself. If you need to, go back and look at the questions as you answered them with regard to the stuck point you're working on for this worksheet. Try to answer them all, and instead of just saying yes or no, write down enough so that you can look back later and understand why the answer is yes or no. This will also help your therapist see how you are thinking through this process when she or he looks over them. The next part is problematic patterns. In column E are the problematic patterns that you have just been working on. Does this stuck point fit with any of those patterns? If so, write down how it does. Fill in each problematic patterns question that applies to your stuck point. The next part is the newest part, adding a balanced thought. This final column is the new skill we're adding in this worksheet. What else could you say instead of your stuck point after asking yourself the questions and looking at your patterns? Is there something you can say that is more balanced and fact-based than what you have been saying out of habit? Is there a way to think about the event that is more fair and accurate, or more helpful to you as you move forward in your recovery? A clue to you might be what you put in the evidence against column. For example, if your stuck point was, if only I fought harder, I could have stopped the event. And your evidence against was, I fought as hard as I could, and if I had been able to fight harder, I might have been injured, worse, or even killed. Your alternative thought might be, I did the best I could and survived the assault. Notice how you felt when you said this, and if it is different than how you felt when you thought the original stuck point. Now rate how much you believe this new thought, how much you now believe the old thought, and also write in what emotions you feel and how strongly you feel them. Don't worry if you don't quite believe the new thought fully yet, or you think to yourself, I know that this is correct, but I still feel blank. You're in the middle of therapy and in the middle of changing your thoughts, so your emotions might not have caught up to you quite yet. Once you come up with a good worksheet, you should read it over and over until the alternative thought sounds more comfortable and right to you. You can work with your therapist on completing these worksheets, and the therapist may have some suggestions on which ones to work on first. You should still focus on stuck points about traumatic events, the worst one, and any others that you might have experienced. If you and your therapist notices any stuck points, remember to add them to the log as well. And that's how to fill out a challenging beliefs worksheet. To look at an example, watch the next video.